All right, and we're back. We are back. Hey, UT, let me know if you can let me know if you can hear this. Let me know I'm back. Man, I can't believe I just did a whole live stream. I don't know. I've been talking for a minute and wasn't even in the studio. Wasn't even recording. Again, StreamYard, man, they switched. I had a membership for years. Apparently it renewed. They changed some things. I must not have renewed it. I'm not going to. I'm not well, first of all, I want to get a confirmation that I can be heard. That's first of all. Um oh, there we go. Oh, I'm rolling. I'm rolling. All right. Well, we're gonna call this one take two. I feel like, man, yo, if I could have recorded myself on another device, I would have just made it an upload. Cause I gotta say all of that all over again. It's sad, but I noticed something when you say it again, sometimes it comes out better. Right? So, oh, I got a duck. Okay, they took away all my graphics, they took everything. Man, I'm not paying for no StreamYard. I do not come on this thing live enough. I don't feel well, so I'm gonna make this a quick one. I just wanted to come on and talk about this article. Well, since I had my dry run rehearsal. Okay, so I was scrolling down Facebook. One of my peeps put up an article I thought was interesting. I copied and pasted it, slapped it up. Immediately I got one comment from Miss Golden. She says, "Please don't tell me you're one of them." And right away I felt the sting. And the sting is that when one, I'm like, these are not my words, right? So I said, this isn't what I represent. I want to talk about it though. So I reposted it with the source of the article and its original author. And it might be its original author. I don't know. So you know me, right? I believe truth is objective. You know, it really depends. It really comes down to who's listening and who's looking. So right away, I'll get right into it. It's no point in stalling since I did get a dry rehearsal. I find the article to be problematic. Why? Well, before the problematic, let's get to this. You have to know more. This isn't enough information. Number one, what is the age of the author? What culture is he from? What is his life experience? Is he married, divorced, single? All of these things to me matter because, hell, we have whole sectors of men on YouTube that would agree with this individual. They would believe everything that he wrote. Oh, yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, these women, they the problem. The same way there are people here who believe all black men are the problem and the black man is the downfall of the black community. He didn't do this, he didn't do that, and da 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 da. First of all, I think a lot of that is bullshit. There is no one person to blame. You know, the same way with some of the issues going on in my city, there's a high crime rate with among juveniles. So they're talking about charging the parents. I say yes. I say yes, yes, to a degree. Not necessarily charge them, but make them more responsible. Because see, Mom Dukes ain't have a problem with us like that. I mean, no, we did, but she told us you go to jail. Yeah, that's just your ass. You gone. So anyway, back on the topic. I felt it necessary to review this myself. Now, here's the cool part. I don't have to go point for point in the article. When I say problematic, I'm gonna say right away, I find the language problematic. I think that it could be a little more professional when referring to young people in the acts of engagement. We're going to call that acts of engagement, right? He says it almost sounds like he's angry. You know, oh, she did this and she spreads and the graphics. Now, the problem I'm having is this. If I do with all things, I believe you have to see the whole picture. He's starting out with an age group calling it 12 to 15. Number one, who are you talking about? Are you talking about all young ladies? And again, which demographic, which group? are you talking about? One, if these young people are engaging, what, man, I really wish y'all could have heard my first recording that didn't get through. What is going on in their lives at this time that's causing them to have this attitude? See, when I was in school, we had sex education classes in 7th grade. I ain't gonna lie, it was a little embarrassing because you have to talk openly about things that we would deem as taboo. Now, I never thought of my teacher as being a weirdo for teaching me this. I understood they had to educate us because these are things that we needed to know. And they taught us about things, especially the venereal disease phase. If you're my age and you remember those photographs, boy, it made you want to be celibate for the rest of your life, right? So we learned. Now, here's the thing. Back then, us young men, none of us were having any engagement. We lied about it. We thought that you had to be cool as a young man to say that you was doing something. And us as young people, none of us by majority were doing anything at all. Trust me when I tell you, we lied about it. And what I found out later in life is that a lot of us, it was a lot later that we actually crossed that bridge from what I found out from just talking. But we lied, you know. Now, I noticed the generation after mine, the attitudes towards this phenomenon was a little bit more looser. And then the next generation, when my kids came along, were even more looser. You know, the attitudes of the whole act, something got lost. Where even nowadays it's described as a business exchange. Women are running around, oh, you got to pay all my bills, you got to do this, you got to, what do you bring to the table? I bring my organ, that's it. Again, who is the gentleman in the article speaking about? Who is he talking about? You cannot label a 12-year-old and make that individual responsible for what's happening. A lot of times there are situations where there are abuse. There are young people who don't get the proper introduction or education to this subject, and things go horribly wrong. I'm pretty sure you either know of someone or someone in your family has experienced this. In my own family, I can say that, yes, I've heard the stories. And the worst thing you can do is have a young lady sitting there at the Thanksgiving dinner table with her abuser, and everybody's pretending like ain't nothing go wrong, or she was blamed for what happened to her. I think that is horrible. I think, honestly, if it was one of mine, I probably wouldn't be talking to you now. I'd probably be going live from a prison cell, because that's me. I don't play that. I don't give a damn, no elder. So again, what I'm saying is you have to have insight. See, men who run around with this blanket statement talking about, oh, these women are hoes and this is how they do. Like I said, he's starting out at the young age, but he skipped. How do you know? Like, how do you know what this person's path was? Remember what I said? Even all of you now that come on here every day talking to your imaginary friends, yelling and screaming in the microphone back and forth. What I say, we don't know your pain. We don't know the loneliness or whatever it is you're going through, whatever it is you face. That's why I try not to judge you too much by what you're doing. I just imagine, like, well, what if it was the other way around? So anyway, he starts out, like I said, I just don't agree. I don't agree with that at all. Because one, and then the article does not demonstrate who he's talking about. And at the end here, and I ain't gonna lie, so modern women use their prime setting unrealistic standards for men, hoeing from man to another when they're ready and desperate to settle down, blah, blah, blah. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like men doing their things. But the minute a woman does it, oh, she's a hoe because she's having as much sex as I am. And so he wants to shame her by calling her names and saying, and giving her these labels. But see, the thing is, the one part he's missing out on this equation is these women aren't having sex with themselves, well, to a percentage, but they are with men. So if the women are out here doing their thing, somebody's sleeping with them. So his argument undoes itself, you know, it really does. But I say, I wonder, the author, do you have children? Do you have daughters? Do you have sons? I've said to men many times, um, protect your kids by all means. Um, Protect your daughters for certain. Have those fellas, I understand. I've talked about this before. Having those tough talks with your baby girl. You give them blanket statements. You run by, you want to say, oh, who's the young man? You want to meet him, this, and that. But you don't want to have that hard conversation because you can't imagine, you don't want to imagine, oh my God, she's so innocent. She doesn't do, bro, if you can't have the conversation, at least let them know that they are loved and you have the door open for them, that at any time and anything they ever want to discuss, they can come talk to you. And then they won't fall into these traps. See, a lot of times us as young men, we've done things, and you all know, fellas, we have. And what happens is when you have a female offspring, you tend to wonder about, like, oh my God, now it's going to happen to them. No, so you got to lose all of that. You got to try to figure out whatever it is you did when you were a teen. You got to teach yours better and show them a better example in a different way, right? So it's nothing to worry about, nothing to be afraid. And then you don't have to worry about guys. Articles like this would not even be possible. There'd be no guy trying to write something. But then again, it just sounds like to me, it's more of a man that's, he's got the whole world figured out. I mean, I picked this one, age 33 and upwards. When she real, matter of fact, let's go point for point. I'm not going to stay on the young people stuff, though. I've already talked about that. 12 to 15, skip that. 16 to 18, skip that. The reason why I say it's unnecessary, that age group, those people are young. They're just coming into life. They don't know much about nothing. If anything, at that point, they should be getting education from the parents and the adults, teaching them as much as possible about, the intellectual side of these things, right? When you're that age, you're coming into new feelings, hormones are going on, all kind of awkwardness. It's a very delicate time, right? So you want to keep your kids on that straight and narrow by educating them and making it cool for them to talk to you. We have a tendency to let our egos get in the way, where we want to yell and scream when they make mistakes and shame them and all of this. It's not the time, it's just not. Age 19 to 20, okay, adulthood. At this stage, due to the number of men approaching her, she begins to think she's valuable, forgetting she's just of high demand just for dickmatization. Hence, her favorite slang, I can't date broke men. I can't. Again, who is he talking about here? First of all, there's going to always, ladies, you always going to get, there's going to be hitting on you. They're going to be approaching you. Why does it automatically go to she's thinking she's all of that? If she was raised where, she's not egotistical, she's not going to think that these men paying her attention. Again, it goes back to you, daddy. You paying her attention, you giving her the love she needs. She's not looking for the love, and especially some just petty advances from a man is going to beguile her or have her getting a swollen head. If you did your job, you ain't got to worry about that. Ladies too. All right. So that's not, I'm a Gen Z baddie, I deserve the best. Gen Z. Okay. Well, he did. He narrowed it down to the generation. Again, our chromosomes, our DNA is still the same as it was in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. Nothing has changed. He doesn't, I don't know. Again, I feel like I'm older. I'm out of touch. If there's some things about the new generation, please feel free to teach me, because I didn't have this issue. Now, again, when I say that, I was on a panel once, I got pushed back. Well, that's just you. You're middle class. You're this. No, I just used the formula I was given. 21 to 23. She begins to reject serious men coming for her hand in marriage, and too boring and good for her, and she still wants to explore her sexual freedom. Let me tell you what that sounds like. Sir, that's you being the simp. You got rejected, and you want to use that as an excuse. Fellas, we all got shot down. I used to say she pulled out the 50 caliber Gatling gun and blew me out of the sky. We all get shut down. And I used to run around saying that same rhetoric. Oh, see, and then one day you gonna see I'm a good man. Yeah, bro. The problem is that you fellas can't let it go. You got rejected, you got shot down, you angry. Yes, and it is some truth to that too. A lot of times Sometimes maybe they wanted the bad boy to do with a little bit of edge. But then again, we talking about who? This isn't a whole group of people. You can't put this blanket. Now, if this is his experience where this happened to him every single time, then I can't argue. That's his experience. It's not mine. What I'm telling you is just speculation. I'm just guessing at what might have been going through his mind based on my own experience. Do you see the point that I'm making? You cannot make this law. 24 to 25, she still thinks in her early prime. She's refusing to settle down for serious men coming for her because she hasn't lived. Hey, I give it, a lot of us were like that. We felt like getting married would slow you down. I would still want to have fun. I want to have fun. Well, 24 to 25, if you're educating yourself, you're just getting the bachelor's, maybe you do want to explore and enjoy life a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, you don't have to run right in. And again, I'm not some throwback from an era gone by. You don't have to get married right out of high school and he's working at the plant. Now, like I say, times do change. I still cannot believe that this is an actual philosophy that holds or rings with any truth. She becomes a baby mom and ready to settle down. We went over that one. She realizes that her value on dating market has reduced and drastically, and men aren't taking her serious. More so, she's 28, 29, and there's a generation under her that's getting the attention. I don't know. Again, these are all just so wide speculative points. They're okay. At this stage, she convinced herself a God-learning man is her best option because to let her a God-fearing man and sink into a foolish man will overlook a woman's dirty past. First of all, she meet a man. How does he know? Why would he have to overlook her dirty past? What did she do? Advertise it? Did she write a book, a tell-all? So, I mean, really though, does she have tattoos where it just tells the story? I don't know. Again, it's just a little bit off to me. Okay, 32. At this point, the church is a retirement home for hoes. Oh my God, this brother is really out there. Retirement home for hoes. Love of God, addicted to Christ, and she becomes active in church. She joins the department. You will see. You know what's funny? Him telling this story, I actually have a friend of mine that some of this really applies to, but she's married now and she's doing great. So I can't really say that it does, but I saw her transition through the church and people teased her and, oh my God. And she was still finding herself and struggling. So, but I mean, again, some of these points may have some truth. They might be based on certain individuals. I just don't like the whole thing of blanketing an entire group. So, now he could probably argue against me and say, well, I'm just talking about hoes. And I would say, well, I know a lot of prostitutes that aren't in church, so that's not true. Again, y'all, this is just the internet. These are people with opinions, and there's a lot of them. 99% of the internet is garbage. Put it down, throw it away. With 33, she realized no man wants to commit. She becomes a feminist. Okay. You'll begin to see her active on all social media, talking about how men are pigs and stuff. Oh, is this was this the trigger? Is this what got me on the chopping block? Did this touch a nerve? And because it's perceived to be my words, is why there's such an uproar with the ladies? I didn't say this, he did. Is it true? Well, let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of feministic type of personality types running around, and there's a lot of man bashing. Yep, it's a lot of that. Sure enough. Black men, we can't lead. We can't do nothing. All we can do is be criminals, get women pregnant, and leave home and put them on welfare. That's all we do. Modern women use their prime setting unrealistic standards from hoeing man to man and then ready to be desperate, ready to settle down. They want to find a good man and blah, blah, blah. See, now, again, some of this stuff is true. We do. Now, we went from being young and wanting to have fun, right? You get out of college, you don't want to get married just yet. You want to have fun. I was that weird dude. I wanted to be married early, and I did. But you want to have fun. So you got to watch that fun phase. You don't want to drag that goddamn fun all the way into 35, 38, 39, because then you don't miss the boat. You got to be careful. But it seems to me, I put the post up, man, it's like triggeration. That's a Mary J. Blige word, y'all. It don't exist, but it's something she would say, triggeration. And people were outraged. Of course, we wanted to make it about young people and, oh my God, he said this and he's fact. young people are engaging, whether you like it or not, whether it's posted, whether it's not posted, it's happening. It could be in your own household. That's the point. We want to bury our heads and pretend that these things don't exist and they don't happen. And that's why your 14-year-old comes home pregnant, because you aren't paying attention. You aren't having the talks. You aren't having these conversations. You know? Yeah, I don't agree with the way the way he said it, the way he put it down. It's not right. You know, I just it's a proper way to do it. I would never, you wouldn't talk to your kids like that, you know, with such, well, some parents do, but I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't with that. But again, this is an article from one person. Now, if I was to write this myself, it would become completely different. One, it would have to start with the beginning life. I couldn't write it. Now think about it, because then who would I be talking about? I can't label a whole group of people. All women and all men are not the same. But yet there's whole sections of YouTube dedicated to people, men that just bash women all day, women that just bash men all day. You know? Yeah, it was. I know putting it up is kind of alarming. It's like you copy and paste. It's like without context. But see, around here, a lot of things go without context, and it's not right. And I realized my error. That's why I reposted it. You know, I tend to try to see the good in people. I don't think all young people are that way. That's why I didn't agree with the statement, the way he put it down. He makes it, but he's talking about a hoe. What the hell is a hoe? I would really need to talk to that guy to ask him questions, because anything I say is just going to be kind of like, you know. So the thing is, I don't know. I don't know. Well, let me look at the comments. I think we have something that's at least okay. Ready, aim, fire. That's funny. I couldn't believe I got this StreamYard. What's going on, bro? Hey, LV, what's happening? Oh, hey, Bombay. My only issue was reposting without context was the children. See, I realized my mistake too. Number one, it's called don't YouTube drunk. I wasn't drunk. I'm just saying, like, I just saw something like, ooh, and I just slapped it up there. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even read through it all. And that was ugly too. So when I saw the comment I got, I was like, oops, made a mistake. It's still up now. It's not like I'm ashamed of what he says. I think it makes a good talking point for what he says. I just don't like the way he every point you're making today is completely agree with what everyone's saying. It was just the context of it. Okay, cool. And as you can see, I'm not angry. I saw me getting drugged in a lot of chats. You know, people say, oh, he's him and he's a weirdo and this and that and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, brothers, I understand you ride with certain female content creators and you have to show that support because you think one day you're going to get them, you're going to get the cheeks. I understand, bro. I feel you. I might have been there in my life before I was saved. So I understand. You're going to rock with the content creators you rock with. I mean, it is what it is. I do kind of find myself getting schools into a scintilla of dimension where they say you got to be this voice of this positivity, and that's cool. I'm not always positive. I'm a human being just like you. I got flaws. I think there's a better way to go about things, you know, instead of just posting stuff. What I could have done was put it in my own words, but then again, like I said, I don't think it would have been capable. It would have been a small encyclopedia trying to write something like that. Hell, I've heard church sermons that would talk about stuff like that. There was a situation in my own family where one of my cousins, right? And I don't know why they picked on this little girl so much. Like, I would watch her get whooped just from the way she would walk. I told you, stop walking. Like, and they would just beat this girl unmercifully. And it actually messed up to the point where, you know, she says, she told me the other day, she said, you know, I got therapy because of that and I'm better now. She said, I just don't know why they treated me like that. And see that, y'all, that rang out to me why I said, I'm not going to treat my kids different one from the other. Oldest to the youngest, male to female. I'm going to try to leave the door open. I had one of my daughters thank me one time. She said, I really appreciate you, because we had to go to dinner. We had to have a talk. It was one of those talks, fellas. Trust me. They they never get any easier. And we had to talk. And she says, well, you know, mom's like went off and you listen to me, you hear me. And I had to explain to her the difference between what is reserved for a man, a boyfriend, and what is reserved for your husband. And I'm talking to the point of, and it was something real simple, y'all. It had something to do with like a date, a meeting. You know, you're a young person, you're meeting, let's say you're 18 and you're meeting, you're entertaining company or whatever. It's like, no, you don't need this much atmosphere. This looks like a honeymoon. You don't need this. You know, we had to have a talk about that. Like, you don't waste it. You on certain, if you ain't gonna be with certain ones, you just don't waste it. You know what I mean? You save some things. You know, all this atmosphere. What you trying to? Where you getting this from? You know, but that's just a minor thing. But you're gonna always have those. And by the way, I got a secret for you. Even into their 30s, you're still gonna be having these conversations. You know. It never stops. And you know what? It gets more and more cringe because when your kids are in their 30s, they have a tendency to just speak openly, like, and then you're sitting there like, they say certain words, and you're like, the curse words even make me cringe. I'm just like, oh my God, are we really? And you think it's over. You're like, you living your life, leave me alone. But they come and they talk and they say things, and you just gotta listen. The boys, the girls, they say things, and you just gotta be, because see, as a parent, you have the experience. And get ready. They're going to be in their 40s and 50s. Your ass going to be 80, and they still going to come talk to you. You know, Dad, I don't understand why she did. And you like, I do not want to I don't want to talk about your wife. But, you know, he's going to ask you, why the women, they menopause and they this, and why is she acting like, and she hate me. And you're going to have to just have that talk. By the way, y'all, being a parent don't stop. That's the theme of this thing. So, yeah, this guy, man, like I said, watch what you post. You know, I got I had the pedo jacket thrown on me because it's referencing younger people. And like I said, that's a fact of life. Younger people, and I hope it's not a younger person in your house. If you got young people in your house, pre-adolescents, you need to talk to them because the schools ain't teaching them. The schools ain't teaching them. And they don't have it like I had it. They don't have the structured educational thing about that. And sometimes now as a parent, now you got to sit there with the pictures of the VD and all that and talk to your kids. Excuse me, talk to your kids about these tough subjects, because we have a tendency to sometimes you say, oh, they'll get it, they'll figure they you know, it'll be okay. No, it ain't gonna be okay. Fellas, I know you don't want to hear that. I know you don't want to hear your baby girl talking that stuff. Man, you just gotta let them know. If not, fellas, teach them the game. Be proactive. Teach them the game. Say, look, these men, these young boys, they talk like this. They try this. They'll say this. They'll say, you know, just give them some of the game. If nothing else, you ain't got to get explicit. You know, I know it's uncomfortable. Trust me. You know what I do? I'm a big ass simp. You know what I do? Every time the girls and their mamas or whatever would get those little tampons thing, they would say, hey, when you go to the store, can you got me like la 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 la? I put my fingers in my ear and I go la la, like I don't want to hear it. They thought I was so silly, but I was like, I don't want to talk about those feminine products. I was that guy. I used to act real silly like that. But it's funny though. But anyway, if you're raising females, you're gonna see it's gonna be a lot of that everywhere. You can't escape it. But nah, man, no. Now, here's the thing, y'all. Now I'm gonna say something. Now I gotta get weird a little bit. There was some conversation going around online because I saw the people like to say that word weird and weirdo a lot. I was called that this morning, you know, weird, right? What is weird? I don't know. Something you don't understand, something you can't relate to, something that goes against the norm of society. If you know, like I know, there is no norm. Individuals are individuals. There was an individual around here who was spending time with his daughter and was coloring or doing other things, having activities with his daughter. Now, let me tell y'all something. I know some of you say things like that are weird. Check it out. When a 2-year-old comes and puts a party hat on your head and hands you that plastic teacup, guess what? You at the tea party. You're going to be there for the duration. So you ain't getting up. You ain't walking away. When she put that plate in front of you, you better take that fork and act like you eating something. You at the tea party. So that, I mean, again, you know, some of y'all might not have kids like that, but that's what they do. They want to, you know, Man, you sitting there, the little girl come in, you know, your 5-year-old jumping on your bed, first time I'll play Barbies with me, play Barbie. She got the dolls. Bro, just sit there with her. Just go, let her go through the motion. You're gonna feel simple with your big 280-pound ass, and she's sitting there talking about, you like her hair? Yeah, I like it. I try to watch the football. It's gonna happen, you know. But like I said, you get that hat put on you, you at that tea party. Engage with your children, spend time with them, show them, you know, don't teach them like it's, well, I'm a man, so I can't do this with you because you're a girl. I'm a man, you know, just play along, you know, engage, nurture them, and do the best you can. But yeah, see what we got to do, peoples. We got to get away from the articles like this from Mr. Donya and these things, putting blanket statements on people as far as saying all women is this, all black women is this, all this and that. See, I used I was talking about music. Forgive me, y'all. I did do this live twice, so if I said this before in this live, please, my apologies. And I talked about the music, and I said, man, how is it that when I was growing up, there were female MCs, and the female rappers had to be twice as good as the male rappers because they were females, and a lot of times they didn't get taken seriously. Shout out to Shy Rock, the first pioneer, first female rapper to be on TV, national television, Saturday Night Live. And they had to be twice as good. And guess what? Not only didn't they not lead off with their sexuality, they couldn't use their sexuality because in those days of hip hop, they would have been like, yo, if you don't go sit down, you ain't got no skill and all you got is your body, you would have got laughed off the stage. Nowadays, the paradigm has shifted. It's into they put the young ladies out with their sex first. Rest in peace to Ice Spice. They had her out there twerking the entire time. Her music was mediocre garbage. And then when she lost weight, she got thrown into the dog pile. I mean, that's what they do. They're manufacturing these young women. They're putting them out there, sex first. They say the most, man, they say stuff that make me turn red sometimes. I can't listen to it. And it's got nothing to do with skill. And it's selling, it's dangerous. It's like that too, even on the male side with the violence and everything. But like I said, like my brother Speak told me, he said, man, don't know. He taught me, he said, man, hip hop don't raise your kids. You raise your kids. You know, you raise your children. And that's the truth. You know, Ice Spice ain't raising your daughter. You are. But see, that's the importance of having us around in the household. That's the importance of us getting together and being with each other, you know, during these times, and making sure that when your child is a musician, if she happens to be female, that she's not forced into an industry where it's causing her to lead off a certain way. Now, there are some female rappers out that don't lead off with that. What's that girl? The one, is it Rhapsody? It's a couple of them that they don't engage in that. But see, the thing is, you don't know their names. But that's the industry, though. They will take your children. They will steal their souls. They will have them out there, you know. Dads, stay close. Stay close to yours. Instead of us coming on here arguing and fussing and blaming each other about what went wrong, why the rapper girls on all the stages, I'm like, where's the mama? What is she doing? Where's the dad? What is he doing? It ain't nobody's fault. It takes both of you, you know. If your baby mama ain't acting right, find you another woman and get custody of your children. If your baby daddy ain't acting right, find a good man and build your family. That's all I can tell you on that. You know, instead of sitting here, you mad, you at this now. If you're at this age, you made some mistakes in life, you ain't where you want to be. It ain't okay. I think with knowledge on your stance, people's opinions would change, but context to what you reposted was needed. Yeah, and like I said, I realized the error. I just, you know, you just jumped out there, you slapped something up. Trust me, as soon as Golden said something, right away I took it down. I was like, oh. And it was sort of a respect thing too. I was like, I don't want her to think of me like that, you know, and because I respect her. So I took it down. You know, and I said, there's another way to do this. And I said, what I should have probably done was also wait to put it back up. Of course, word started circulating. I felt the need to put it up and do it in the right way. And so it was. Now, what people think of me at this point, it really doesn't matter. I'm not going to get all cocky and say, I don't give a F and all this. No, when I say it really doesn't matter, it does not matter. See, the people here, like I said, when you push the power button, they go away. They don't exist anymore. Sometimes you form relationships with these people, sometimes you don't. But understand who you're dealing with on this medium. Just understand. There are people here that are hurt. There are people here with a lot of pain. The same way I said you can't start at 12 to 15. You got to look at an individual's whole life to understand who they are. And the same thing with your content creators. You got to understand their whole life. Why are the women going back and forth, calling each other ugly and saying they're not ugly and going back and forth? I don't know. Some people say, well, it's the sport of it all. This is what it is. This is how it is. All right, well, if it's what is it, entertainment? And we can market as entertainment. I don't know. But I could say this. If you're on here and you're dead serious about all women being the problem or all men being the problem, I would say that probably you're the problem. And your problem is just lack of insight. See, in our community, it's not as bad as it seems. Yeah, in my city, there's a lot of juveniles that have gone off the chain completely because the Department of Juvenile Justice will not try them for minor crimes, so they could put a gun in your face and take your car. And by the time you even report it to your insurance company, they done already stole another car. They done got released and back on the streets. These are issues that we need to deal with. They say you're part of the problem or you're part of the solution. My solution is raising these kids to the best of my ability. I didn't always do it perfect. I made mistakes. They made mistakes. The grandkids seem to be okay so far. I'm pretty sure they'll make mistakes. It's just a part of life. There's no reflection on me. You do the best you can. Think about it. When you're a young parent, what do you really know? Because see, a lot of people will come in here and try to shame you for being a parent, a bad parent, whatever. I made my little comment. I'll probably delete that, whatever. When I said sometimes we lack parental skills. Yeah, it's true. I did too. Sometimes we don't have kids, so we don't have the experience. So it's a lot easier to say what somebody would do. So ladies, if you you might find yourself in a position where you're going to do some things or take a job or do something heinous that you wouldn't normally do because you got children. I mean, you can never really truly understand until you're in somebody's shoes, Unadulterated, you still around? I put that link up here. Anyway, it's there. I don't know. Do this version of StreamYard even allow me to have guests on it? I don't know, man. These people got some nerve charging $35, man. Where is they coming from? All you did was tweak the software and you want to jack the price up? Man, if y'all don't go sit down, I would have cranked up the OBS, but I didn't have time to work all that out. Oh, welcome, brother. Look at me with no avatar. I couldn't even get that out. They took all my stuff, man.
What's going on, bro?
What's happening with you?
Not too much. Glad you had a chance to come out and give some context to the situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Hopefully clear the air.
Yeah.
So
clarify. Yeah, clarify, definitely. See, I didn't want to make it look like, because you know how it is around here.
Yeah,
if you say something, then people will accuse you. They'll slap the jackets on you. If you respond and they say, oh, look at you trying to backpedal and pop and all this and that. If you respond more, all you're doing is you're feeding the negativity, you're feeding the content creators. I didn't come on here to defend, like say, oh, well, let me tell you why I'm not the things people say. I know who I am, man. This stuff don't matter. They can say, I hear a lot of that, like around these parts, people will say something like, I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings and cite examples, but they'll say, I'll say a phrase like, well, and then the person will say, oh, so what you're trying to say is that my daughter is ABC. No, that's not what I said. Oh, but you implied it. That's not what I implied. See, and they do that gaslighting and it goes back and forth. Man, I don't do all that. I feel like I say what I say, you say what you say, and it's the end of the story. Yeah, what you have to ask yourself is, what is it that caused you not to like me so much that you feel the need to just, with all the unnecessary extra commentary? I made a song a few months back. It was a challenge or whatever I did. And the song and the verse was about sex. And the video was women in bikinis and people lost their mind. oh my God, he's putting up porn. There was nothing porn. I'm sorry. So if I go to the beach, is women in bikinis porn? And of course, it was a man that did it. You know, of course, a man had to come out. Girls, you see this girl? You see what he doing, girl? He got all these women on here, girl. Oh my God, that is so nasty. You know what I'm saying? Like, no content, nothing better to talk about. So of course, minions will always, oh yeah, you right. I can't believe he did that. And it's like, did anybody know the songs in another language? It's a song about sex. What was I supposed to have up there? Disney characters? But see, that's the point. That's the point, is that it's like I have nothing to talk about, so I have to attack what you do. Do me a favor, go create something. Don't talk about the ish that I do. Go create something yourself. But see, they'll say that's the sector. That's
part of the problem. Yeah, because see, that's the thing about the sector, because I would imagine there are some creative people, but there is more response and commentary than creativity in a lot of the sector at this point. You know what I mean? Being able to, have an opinion on something, that's not, I don't consider that content creation. You know what I mean? I've seen what you do. I think you have a pretty good idea of what I do, and it's different levels to everything, but I don't consider reactions and just going over what happened during the course of the week. It's content, but I don't necessarily consider that content creation. So, but people got to have something to talk about,
exactly.
And that was the fodder for the week. So, or at least for the last couple of days, So
it's gossip and bullshit. So as a man, I can't have a panel where week to week it's just me behind the scenes talking to broads, stirring up trouble and all that. I can't do it. It ain't even in my DNA to do that. Now today people probably thought I was gonna come on here and go off on that girl because she said something about me. No, I did what I said. I was gonna come on here, give my commentary on the topic, and move it along. And that's what I did. Yeah. I just get tired of people trying to tell me what a sector is. They say, well, this is the sector. Says who? Because in the original charter of this sector, it had nothing to do with the bullshit that y'all are doing now. So please stop trying to tell me what a sector is. First of all, who says what? I keep asking, what is the boundary of the sector? What is the membership count? Who sits on the board of this thing you call the sector? Who decides what it is and what it is not? Certain players have come in here in the last 2 years and successfully killed this space. This was a nice little tight space where people could do commentary. Their ops were welcome to comment. It was fun. It was some clowning. People made money. There was cash apps flowing, and it was nice. But here these fools come with their pain and their sadness and despair and want to come up and start a bunch of turmoil. Everything out their mouth is poisonous, toxic, nasty, negative. When do they ever come on? When where you see a streak where they got 3 lives in a row where it ain't that? Where it is some balance. It is something. It's like, no, I saw this. Guess what I saw? I archived it. Man, how in the hell y'all got stuff that people said from 2 years ago? Like you was waiting to bring it up.
Yeah.
And it's the same narrative over and over. It's not progressing. It's not going anywhere. But if the purpose is for you to come here, now, of course, if the purpose is for you to come here and just tee off on each other all day, then it is what it is. I just won't be tuning in to a degree. I'm not engaging in that. And that's why, it's funny because the numbers used to be 60, 70, 80 people. Now the average number is 30, 25, 30, 20.
But see, when you don't have nothing else going on in your life, that's a lot of people. You know what I mean? So
that's the point.
It's all relative. You know what I mean? And so that to me, that's what it really kind of boils down to. And like I said, when I saw the post, I kind of knew that somebody would take it because there some people waiting around for something to create some controversy around and offer their opinions. And I guess that's what YouTube is about. But you can have a conversation about a controversial topic without being not necessarily being in agreement with the subject matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you look at it, and I understand when people can look at something and say, well, why did it start off with the 12-year-olds? And that's rational, but you know we have to be cognizant of the fact that it's out there. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. And obviously we're not talking about the majority of the people, but having conversations about it does not, that doesn't mean that you're a part of the problem. And just it's funny because you mentioned everybody's up in arms about sexuality around even the subject of sexuality as it relates to little kids, right? Let me tell you, my and I'm probably sure I told you this before. My ex-wife and I, we ran a dance dance theater in Compton, right?
Uh-huh.
Literally started off with 5 little girls in a woman's garage off of Compton Boulevard, and built it up that was in 2005. In 2009, we had built it up to the point where the Obama administration flew all of us cross country to perform for them, right? And took about 25 little girls, a lot of whom had never been out of California, and gave them that experience, right? But when we got our biggest influx of students, there was a dance group called the Compton All Stars, right? They went and they had different age groups. And they used to have these big dance competitions in Las Vegas. I'm sure you've seen some of the movies about, the dance competitions that the girls have, right? They took a group of kids to Las Vegas, and the 8 to 10-year-olds got disqualified because they was pee-popping in a headstand and got disqualified from the competition for being overly sexual. And I tell you what, it wasn't the fathers that choreographed that shit. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And so what happened was a lot of the families didn't necessarily know that was what they had been working on. This is what the women who ran the program was teaching them. So they had paid all this money for their kids to go to Vegas, to enter the competition, staying in the hotel and all that kind of shit, only to get kicked out roughly 45 seconds into the competition. You know what I mean? And they came back and they signed their little girls up for ballet. And that's when they learn over the course of time. It was a great experience, working with little kids. But I said that to say, having a discussion about it, about the overt sexuality that those little girls, or what could be interpreted as sexuality with those little girls, having them doing stuff that they didn't have any business doing at all, let alone on stage in front of hundreds of people. You know what I mean? Doesn't make people who are having the discussion, it doesn't make them the problem. It's not, well, why are you looking at them why are you sexualizing them just because they're in a headstand? You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
the conversations themselves aren't the problem, and but like I said, you got people that need to be able to point the finger at somebody to make themselves feel better about their life. So that's unfortunately you was the victim of that over the past couple of days.
And I can be that. I guess today people thought I was going to come on and rant and rave against the other content creator that put the jacket on me. And again, that wasn't the point, nor would I do that. Because I understand the dynamic of this particular section of YouTube. If that's what it is, I yell and scream, you yell and scream, I yell and scream, you yell and scream. For who? To entertain people that I don't know, that won't never know, have never talked to.
Yeah,
I refuse. I refuse to do that. Like I said, Darrell came on and talked about how much more productive his life is when he stepped away. Because like you said earlier, you spend 30 hours a week on this thing. I mean, that's a whole nother income.
Exactly.
You know,
Yep.
you could be doing medical billing or something. Like, I cannot see. It's not that entertaining. I don't want to see. I mean, the women screaming back and forth every day. Like, how many times you going to say the same stuff over and over? They said I was repetitious. You know, like, oh, there he go. He's saying the same thing again and again. But guess what? Whatever I'm saying again and again ain't hurting nobody. It ain't disparaging nobody. It ain't disrespecting nobody. But see, the
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
is, you know, now they're on who got the loudest microphone. My mother used to say you loud and wrong. So you just got a louder
Exactly. Yeah,
microphone and you
yeah.
louder and wronger. You know, it don't make you right at the end of the day. So when it comes down, these same individuals will talk about what men are doing, and men, hey, it ain't no man calling you ugly. It ain't no man going back and forth with you. Shit, I see more women around here tearing themselves down than anybody else. Why is,
Exactly. Yeah.
you know, so again, if that's y'all thing and that y'all want to tune into that, I know 2 years ago they kept saying he's trying to change the sector. He's trying to change the sector. Why don't you just leave? That was 3 years ago now. Why don't you just leave? And
Yeah.
I said, wait a minute. So I'm wrong for asking us to do what we've been doing because we got people popping up with no talent, nothing to give, nothing to offer, trying to change it into some poisonous cesspool of bullshit. I'm wrong for speaking against that. And sure enough, that's what you find.
Yeah.
When
Well,
you
you
look
see what
back,
it's led to.
yeah,
You see what it's led to. So you know
it
what I
done got
mean?
dumbed
Yeah.
down to the point where, and the brother said he hit it on the head too. He said, what I look like with my experience and everything that he got, he says, arguing with a damn convict. Like, why? That's my point. Y'all would not cohabitate with these people in your real life. And no, that's not being judgmental. I'm being honest with you. You just wouldn't be hanging in the hood. So why you went online in the hood? You know, them people should be here trying to learn from you, trying to be better. You know, but instead they like, because their life ain't where it want to be. I'm living with my baby mama. I'm on assistance. I'm getting a disability check. So I got to come find somebody with an education, a master's degree, and talk down and bad to them to make them feel bad so I can feel better about myself. See, I call it like it is. That's all I see. It's going to be what it's going to be. So folks can run around talking about Bombay or pedo because he put up something that happened to reference age group, but we'll sit around here and have guys got dockets, court cases of domestic abuse, slapping women, choking women, threatening women. But because a man got nice eyes or he got I don't know, some money or anything, y'all just overlook it. A man could do a murder, but he cute, so it's okay. You know what I mean? So I know the mentality of the people I'm dealing with, so I didn't take it serious. I just felt like, and besides, if you call me a name, who's going to hear you? My family? Well, by all means, I'll give you their addresses. You can call them and say, hey, he put this up. And he's this. They'll tell you, no, not him. They say, if anything, he'll put his hands on one of them people and beat the brakes off of them. That ain't me. That ain't my character.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So, like I said, you know, I think it's a shame that, you know, that they can call a man that, you know, without just to throw out a charge so easily, you know, and put that. I think it's the worst. I think it's the lowest of the low, personally.
That's par for the course for here. That you know certain people, and I think you know most of us or at this particular point it's probably what 4 going on 5 years or more, and some came around a little bit later. But you know we kind of have observed each other to the point where you should have at least a vague overview of what the person is capable of, and you know just to put something like that out just to be inflammatory because that's what you want to be known for. You know what I mean? That's you know, but again, that's you can't really expect too much more out of some people. So
I've learned. You know, years ago I used to have a nickname around here. You know, dude said, "Oh, he was talking to a person." Well, you know, I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna say I had a nickname.
I know what you're talking about.
And then you turn around 3 years later, a person from that community is a moderator on your panel. So what are we doing here?
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean?
Yeah.
That person's a moderator on your panel. So obviously it ain't as bad. But the thing is that I learned not to take any of this serious. And when I see the ladies on here and the men, brothers, I understand why you are. Okay, so you didn't get where you need to be in life. Maybe you had a couple of bad court cases. Maybe your baby mama was draining so much child support out of you, you couldn't even sustain it, had to live with your mother. I mean, it could happen. I'm not judging you because of that. I'm just saying that's your real life. You know, you can share those experiences with people, you know, and tell folks how to avoid those traps. Like, hey man, if you're gonna have a baby, make sure it's the right one. Because a lot of times it's our fault. We laid up with Taquan the Nation and had the kid. Then we had one over there with Lucretia and them. Then Fat Tyrone's sister, we got her pregnant. And then next thing you know, we sitting here won't complain like it's women and the black woman is the problem. No, it's you and your lack of control.
Yeah.
Just talk about it. You know, make it real. So when I see people on here, I understand who they are. And the thing is, I was talking about something the other day. Remix one time had did a speech talking about redemption. And he was talking about redemption. Welcome, Generation X. It's one of the homeboys. And he was saying, man, y'all act like a man can't make mistakes in his life and that he can't never be better than what he was because he had some crime, did some crime. And it was a very heartfelt speech. And I mentioned that and folks was like, yeah, I hear you, man, but I'm saying he, and that's him, and he this, and why you won't listen? And I said, oh, because you don't like this individual. He spoke the truth. It was the truth. I cannot say if I don't like him, then I gotta pretend that's not real. That's real. Yeah, exactly, but see, the thing is, what I respect about the brother is this. Remix said, there's some things I did in my life. I had criminal charges, but I ain't that man no more. I take care of my kids. I work. I don't have I don't have a ton of money, but I'm doing the best I can for my family. I can only respect that versus brothers that still hiding behind the scenes talking about y'all got criminal records, y'all got things, and y'all still acting like y'all big shot millionaires. See that I respect the brother more that's just lay it out. Like, man, shit, I made some mistakes. I was young. And I can understand that. You came up in the neighborhood. Dude, the difference between me and you is one nice cop. If one nice cop wasn't nice to me, I would be the same person with the same charges, the same bad, just went down that rabbit hole. So I can understand and respect that. I'm not on here with no sector bullshit where, oh, I don't like you this week, so everything you say ain't true. But then this person, you see it. You see the dynamic.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Two people do the exact same thing, but because I like this person, he's popular with me, and you're not, then yours is a worse crime. And the same thing with the women, So I don't know. Man, raise your kids, So I understand the brother in the article, he talked about some of the women nowadays, and it is some stuff on here that you hear women say. Sometimes it's some nastiness, it's some sexual stuff. They just say anything, and it's just like, oh, but I can't speak on that because I'm just, I'm a black man and I ruined society, so I can't say anything. So I can't say you being a hoe when you 45, because you said what you was going, you gave an explicit act of what you were going to do. We do, however, let's be fair about it, y'all. We do have something called adult entertainment, and there are people that are in adult entertainment. Now, is that something shameful? I would say no, because it would be based on your moral standard. And we all know ain't none of you here in any moral position to judge anybody about what they do. So, sister, if you 40 and you still keeping it tight and you still doing porn, hey, shit, what you 5,000 to see? I don't know. Who am I to judge and tell you? I can't, because my moral code don't say what you do is wrong. My moral code say you doing what you're comfortable with. You're free to be an individual and live your life. I'm not here to judge you and tell you, because that's another thing we get a lot of. We get well, you're this age, so you should already be at this point in life. It's funny how a 24-year-old with no career gonna tell me where I'm supposed to be, and vice versa. I spoke up for the young people. I said, stop telling the 24-year-olds where they should be, because when you were 24-year-old, where you was, that 24-year-old didn't have the same parents that you have, that support. They didn't have the finance. They didn't have the guidance, the whole community. They come from a different part of the country. You can't judge them based on your experience.
Yeah.
So that's that. But these are the conversations we don't have. So I told the brothers one day we're gonna all get together and have these conversations. I still got
we need to. Yeah. Like I said, like I said, with what you put up, I thought it was a prelude to a conversation just to give everybody food for thought. But like I said, other people saw it as an opportunity. But these types of conversations need to be had, and some of them, and with, like you said, without being judgmental, because everybody's coming from a different space, and nobody's really in a position to be judgmental with each other because we don't necessarily know what everyone's experiences are going back and how they got to wherever they are. So,
it was just it's like it's what it is with everything. Let's take this brother down a peg. Oh, you're a PhD. Let me take you down a peg. That's what it comes down to. It becomes, like I say, it's a toxic cesspool. It's like I exist for no other reason but to come online every day and disparage and disrespect other people. In the so-called black community, y'all claim y'all support. It's funny because all I see is black people dogging black people. I don't see nobody else doing it. So please stop with all the, and then everybody want to be pro-black. Well, if you're going to be pro-black, stay that way all the time. Don't call me holier than thou, self-righteous, above you or anything else because I point certain things out. I speak on it. Every live that I got, I always make myself the subject matter. I always talk about my own, like I say, me this. I don't sit there and point fingers at you the whole entire time. I even reveal my own flaws. I keep it real because I don't walk around here in an illusion like I'm better than everybody or I got to keep talking about the money I got. I don't know. That's the new thing. People like to talk about their money. But y'all got so much money. But them eggs are still high as hell out here, even with all your money. Maybe you can get a couple more omelets than I got. But I don't know, bro. It was just a good run. I think my body is trying to tell me, like, bro, you still sick. You need to go
sick. Yeah. Shut it down. But like I said, not that you needed to justify yourself, but I think it's good for people, but maybe you shouldn't presume that people understand you, but given context so that people don't take a narrative and run with it. So,
shout out to the people that didn't run to the negative right away.
Yeah.
That didn't run like I'm coming out on here. And of course, even this response, they could twist and think, oh, he's mansplaining. You'll get that from the women. He's man.
What year did that word come into being?
I had one of my homegirls say that to me. We had an argument. We had an argument that day. I said, sister, I'm explaining. I said, I don't know what you into. She was into some black feminism. I said, sister.
Yeah, exactly.
I said, it ain't never been you. We always stuck together. It ain't never been you versus me. Don't fall into that. Don't fall in with Karen and them. You ain't with Karen because Karen and them will leave your ass. As you can see, look at the elections. They leave your ass in a heartbeat. They ain't behind the woman. They going behind their man and how he voting. So.
But yeah, man, I think you just got to set the record straight. And, other than that, if people can't understand it, it ain't meant to be understood by some people. That's all.
That's why YouTube got a block button.
Yep.
I ain't got to see. Not only do you have a power button, you also have a block button. You got filters you ain't got to see. But see, the thing is, when I ask y'all questions like, why do you go to your ops videos every day looking for a reason to be mad, looking for a reason to be upset?
It's the truth.
You can't explain that. I mean, really though, do you just walk around in society going into Burlington Coat Factory? Like, let me go ahead and see if I can find a fight with somebody. I got to start something. That lady looked at me wrong. The problem is you.
Again, that's what passes for content on here. That's what passes for content.
They can have it. I'm going to do what I do. I never did my content for no one group of people anyway. That's why even the music, I shifted it into making it more universal.
Yeah.
I was like, man, because the thing is, you do something. Now, of course, I'll say folks don't appreciate the time and effort that go into making something. Now, that's it. Oh, he wants attention. No, you could just click the like button. I'm good with that. But understand, 8 to 10 hours to produce something, that's a lot of time to be wasted. How am I going to tell you not to do it and I'm doing it? Mm-hmm. Now, it might have gave you a giggle, might have gave you a laugh, but that's a lot of damn work. Now, during the pandemic, I was doing music, trying to learn new skills. I wanted to learn how to mix, learn how to master, so it was more practice. I was doing things for people pro bono, just trying to get my sharpen the skills. That's all. And then I got to the point I said, okay, we got to move this on to something else because this ain't making me no money. As a matter of fact, I lost money. That was a scandal too. Everybody wanted to, aha, I told you so, aha. I said, all right, well, I lost some money. Oh, well, life still goes on. As a matter of fact, I told y'all what I say, within the good thing, within suffering, within the good things that happen to you, the good fortune are the seeds of suffering. So that happening pushed me in another direction. And now I'm having success in that. Shameless plug. I probably have a commercial during the Super Bowl. If y'all hear
that's what's up.
If y'all hear a familiar voice, that's me.
Okay.
The lady said she'll send it to me after it go. I think I might be in It might be in the pregame. I don't know. But
Okay.
I'm gonna post that up when I get it. That's what I've been doing. I was mad because I got sick and it was an audition I couldn't do. I was like, damn it, this came at the wrong time. There's tricks I can use to make myself where I can clean the nasal out, get my voice together just enough to do an audition. But as you can see, this is a struggle, you know.
Yeah, I hear you.
So, all right, bro, I'm getting ready to
Well,
wrap.
go ahead, shut it down, man. Yeah, always good catching up with you. And you know, like I said, mission accomplished. I believe, not that you needed to justify anything, but you know, for the people that you know, are reasonable, I think they see where you're coming from. So
yeah, no doubt. All right, man. Thanks for coming through.
always a pleasure, bro. I'll holler at you soon. Okay.
All right, man. Peace.
All right. Peace.